this knowledge throughout my youthful years, all the way up to my teenage years. But later, as I began to meditate, I started to once again reconnect with this inner knowing at the age of 21, after being introduced to Kriya Kundalini Yoga, and after reading the autobiography of yoga, of the yogi, the Yogananda, which was life-changing for me at the age of 19. So I am a cosmic ambassador to the Earth. I represent an intergalactic alliance of many benevolent races that are associated with a spiritual order known as the Emerald Order. And I am here to help bring forth information, next level intel as far as like cosmic disclosure is concerned, so that people could understand our purpose, why we're here, and where we really come from, which I revealed in detail in my book, Our Stellar Cosmic Origin. So in that book, I also propose new theories that bridge the gap between science and spirituality, ancient metaphysics and quantum physics, while explaining the bigger picture and Earth's relationship to the multiverse. So I consider myself one of many volunteers who is here at this time to help, not only in the ascension process of the collective, but also in the reinstatement of Earth's status in the galactic and cosmic community.
Thank you for that. And yeah, well, so obviously the Alchemy of Ascension audience is very interested in ascension, also our galactic origins. So this conversation is so perfect for all of the viewers that come to this. So for starters, I think the place I want to start with you, I have heard you talk about the galactic central sun or the universal central sun, and how we receive light codes from that. And I am an avid sun gazer. I receive the light codes from Central Sun. I also teach people how to do that. I share about it a lot. And so when I heard you talk about that, I would love for you to unpack a little bit about how does that work? How do we receive the light codes? Do you recommend sun gazing? And what is your take on all of that?
Well, everything in existence is interconnected. You know, we're part of a greater organism known as the body of the universe. Just like how there's trillions of individualized cells in your body that make up yourself, which you are the universe to each cell. In like manner, each and every single one of us is a cell within the body of the universe. So the way I see it is, because we are in organic software in a sense, everything in existence has some sort of already genetic or cosmic blueprint in which everything unfolds according to that blueprint, what we call the template. And so how it works is we are connected to our sun via our DNA. Our DNA and our sun are constantly communicating. They have a very intimate relationship. And so when the sun is generating the universal life force, it's actually influencing life. It's giving life. It's allowing life to follow its genetic blueprint. So the gamma rays that have been coming in from the great central sun also act as pockets of information where it is actually giving new mathematical equations to our DNA to activate different strands, to activate sleeping codons. And also it's very, how can I say it? It's a formula. It's like we're software in a way. So as we're receiving these gamma rays, we're actually being programmed into the next phase of our evolution. And that's why our dormant DNA has been waking up ever since, and it's almost complete. And that explains the transformation of the human species into what scientists call the next level or the next stage of human evolution, which is what I call in my book meta-human, angelic humanoids, or humans with supernatural powers.
Yes, that's exciting. And I want to get into that a little bit more as well. But first, I want to talk about, you talk about a solar flash, and that is a big event that will be happening sometime in the near future. And can you break down kind of what is that coming from the great central sun? Is it coming from our solar system sun? How does it work? Will people be vaporized? Will some people just flash into the next dimension? And what's your take on that?
No, it's going to be a smooth transition. It's going to be a transfiguration of our molecular structure into a higher, less dense physical structure. And that explains why our bodies at the cellular level are actually changing due to this photonic energy that is communicating with our bodies at a cellular level. And so basically it's going to be a transition. It's an event that is unique to the universe, where for the first time in universal and cosmic history, an entire planet gets to go up into a higher density all at the same time simultaneously. So the solar flash is an event that has been predicted by many ancient prophecies. The Eastern teachings call it Frashokareti. The original Judaic, if you want to really go back to the Zoroastrianism teachings, they call it the Sambartica fire. The Latter-day Saint Church of the Mormon organization calls it the burning transmuting fire. That's, every tradition has a different name to describe this event that is going to exalt the current human species while eliminating all the wicked. So it's definitely something that's taking place and that is being orchestrated by our entire universe.
So that sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
What's your timeline on that? When do you see this happening?
Well, according to my original vision, when I first, when I was in the process of writing Our Cosmic Origin, I was hearing 2024 when I was going into meditation. I kept getting that day, 2024, big shift. That's when the collective of the entire planet will be fully immersed in fifth dimensional reality. It is brought to my attention that we're actually currently in the fourth dimension, and we've been since 2012, and that explains why everything's now coming to the surface, while at the same time we are witnessing a mass acceleration of the collective as far as like the awakening is concerned. So I say by no later than 2024.
Wow, that's soon. How can people prepare for that?
Meditation is key. When people go within, they are able to access information. They activate their internal guidance system, so they are able to discern and get downloads as to what's really happening. And that's why many people that are very spiritually inclined, like psychics and mediums, are very in tune with the changes. And they're all talking about something big is going to be happening in our very near future. So if everybody wants to connect and be in tune with those changes, meditation is key. It doesn't matter if it's transcendental meditation, Kriya Kundalini, every form of meditation at this point will allow you to pretty much, tap into the changes that are taking place on a very subtle level. And so that's my recommendation, meditation.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more with that. I'm an avid meditator and a meditation guide, and I like that you don't have there's a specific way. It's just whatever works for the individual. And also, I'm sure monitoring your thoughts, because our thoughts are creative. Now, what do you say to someone that says, my mind races, I have a lot of negative thoughts, or I'm bombarded by, all the stuff out there and I can't settle my thoughts down. And I know I've heard you talk about too, how as where we're going after this solar flash, our thoughts are very instant in their creation. So what do you say to someone that is having trouble getting their thoughts clear?
To practice the development of your concentration by staring into the light of a candle for only 20 minutes a night. All the lights off, you light up a candle and you just look at the candle and just put all your focus into that candle. Another method that I like to teach my students is also, think of an item. I always use the apple. Close your eyes and visualize the apple in the center of your eye. Feel its texture. If it's green, smell the sourness of the greenness. See what energy it gives off without allowing any other thoughts to intrude. Those two simple techniques will build your concentration. Because the reason people are unable to control their thoughts is because they're unable to control or narrow in their concentration on what they like to think. So because we are all somehow connected telepathically. We are part of a group mind. Sometimes people pick up on other people's thoughts and think they are their own. And so it's very important to understand that, you have the power to control what you think. Don't rent any thoughts in your mind that you consider to be negative, because in a sense you are co-creating your reality. There was one of the things that I discovered is that our thoughts are electro. When you think of something, it's the electrical aspect of the magnetic field. Our emotions are magnetic. So when you combine thoughts, electrical, with magnetic, you're actually manifesting. And one of the things that we're here to do is to learn how to master that, to learn how to master energy through our thoughts and our vibrations. Because in the fifth dimensional Earth, we are going to be instantaneously manifesting at the speed of light we're going to be like natural replicators. So while those that go into the fourth dimensional Earth are going to be needing external technology, right, like replicators, med beds, holographic regenerators, those of us that go into the fifth or higher dimensions are going to be our own technology, because our body is a living quantum, biological computer. And so the more DNA we use, we become just like the actual computers. In fact, all the technology that is being developed by big tech, Silicon Valley, is a mimicking of our own dormant DNA.
I love that. And yeah, you had some Dr. Joe Dispenza in there, who I'm an avid follower of. The thought sends the signal out, the emotion draws the experience back to you. And that's how we create our reality. And I know as we raise up in vibration, that happens faster and faster. So it is really important to be able to control and manage what you're thinking. When you talk about, you were talking about the whole planet ascending at the same time, is this what happened on a smaller scale with, for instance, the Mayans and Tartarians, who seem to have vanished from our reality?
Absolutely, yes. According to the Akashic Records, the Mayans actually translated as a collective back into the Maya star system within the Pleiades. The Tartarians translated back into the Terra version of the Earth, where Earth exists in the fourth, fifth, and sixth levels of or six dimensions. And so that's exactly what happened. And of course, the powers that were, I like to say the powers that were, because, as I speak, their time is up. We are shifting into a better world, completely changed all the records around to eradicate any evidence of Tartaria. But Tartaria existed for a few hundred years, and they were a very peaceful, harmonious society that didn't have any centralized power or control. It was driven by a common understanding that everything in existence is one and sacred. The Tartarians were very in tune with the ecosystem. They were very in tune with the animal kingdom and the telluric kingdom, which is the kingdom of the fairies, the elementals and stuff. So they were a very, very advanced spiritual race that existed on this planet for a few hundred years. And yes, they have been translated into a higher dimension.
Yeah. So would it be likely that those people who are moving up in dimension will be joining with them when that happens?
Absolutely. Yeah. That's why it's known as the Great Reunion. Once we shift collectively into the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimensional level of reality, we're not only going to be reuniting with these other civilizations that advance to the next stage, we're also going to be reuniting with the galactic community, and we're going to be reuniting with the inner Earth dwellers, our brothers and sisters who still to this day exist within the the inner Earth societies, or the inner Earth people.
Yeah, that's exciting. I have had a lot of communication through Mount Shasta with Adama and Telos, and I absolutely love that idea that we get to be with them again. Very loving, powerful people. Okay, I have a question for you are you familiar with The Voyagers by Ashiana Dean?
I've never read them, but ever since I've come out in the last month and a half, everyone's telling me that a lot of my information sounds similar to hers. I've heard of her, but I just never had an opportunity to read her books. I've been really busy trying to write my own.
Right.
But people are telling me that she also uncovers galactic history. I don't know to which extent, that she talks about a lot of similar things that I've been talking about. So the way I'm seeing it is that we could be tapping into the same resources. I am a member of the Emerald Covenant, and somebody was telling me that she also claims to be a member of the Emerald Covenant. So perhaps, we're two different people channeling the same information because we both have similar purpose.
Yeah, that's fascinating. I am familiar with her work. And when I first heard you speak, you spoke of the harmonic universes and just a lot of what you were sharing. I'm like, oh, this sounds a lot like Voyager's material. And so I was curious, but how fascinating that you got that independently of her work. And it's so similar and very technical. And another thing I wanted to say on that line about your book is I haven't read it all, but I just got it yesterday. And in paging through it, it's very digestible. It's for people that don't read heavy information or dense information easily. It's because, I've read things like the Keys of Enoch, and the Voyager's material can be really a lot. It takes a lot of focus, a lot of attention. And I love how it's not necessarily that you're simplifying it, but you've written in a way that it's not difficult to understand what you're talking about. So I appreciate that. I do the same in my writing. So for anyone that's like, oh, that sounds like a lot of information, I don't know, I just want to watch the videos, go get the book, because it's very, I feel like anybody could take it in and receive it and understand it. And I also understand that there's an activation just in reading the material in the book. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Yes. Every chapter is an initiatory activator upon reading it. And also, before I published that book, I was visited by members of the Tibet that were associated with the Council of Shambhala, the Ascended Beings, Katumi, El Morya, Kuan Yin, Saint Germain, and they all blessed my book. And they said that this book is going to help trigger and activate many people in time for the ascension of planet Earth. And this happened exactly 10 years ago when I was in the midst of writing the book. So that was a blessing that the Ascended Masters from the Shambhala networks were able to, bless it.
That's beautiful. Oh, I love that. Yeah, there's something about it. I could say, just having it feels really, really fun, and I look forward to reading the whole thing cover to cover. I'll do that before the next time I have you on. So in an interview, I heard you say that predestination and free will work together. Your highest self sets the blueprint for your incarnation. So my question is, how much flexibility do we actually have? How much free will do we have in this life if there's predestination and things set out for us to accomplish before we come?
100%. Every choice that we make either aligns with your higher self, with your purpose, your divine purpose, or it doesn't. When it doesn't align with your divine purpose, things happen, unfortunate circumstances. And all that does is acts as a redirector, like a GPS back into your path. So when you make the right choices, things go your way. And that's how I say that, it's both. From the highest levels of reality, everything's already planned, because when you think about it, Prime Creator Source already knows the beginning and the end and everything in between. It's all happening simultaneously at the highest level of reality. So we down here in the lowest levels of reality, it is through our choices if whether or not we aligned with that purpose or not. So when we don't align with that purpose, unfortunate things happen until we begin to align with the right choices that take us to our destination and our mission. For instance, the universe is like a GPS. It will always recalibrate you to the right route by synchronicities, by circumstances, sending you the right type of people or any event like that in order to get you back on track, in order for you to fulfill your own, blueprint.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. Yeah. And so even though we've got these kind of things set in our pathway that we want to learn and grow from, it's always our choice how we navigate that experience.
Absolutely.
Okay. Awesome. You've talked about this quantum leap in evolution that changes everything. I think that's correlated with the solar flash, with the moving up in density. Is there more to it than that? Can you unpack that a little bit more, or feel like you've already done that?
No, there's a phenomenon known as stellar activation cycles, which is a event that takes place every 25,690 years, which has to do with the revolution of our solar system going around its central parent sun known as Alcyon. In terms of astrology, is a full cycle of 2,160 years from one sign of the zodiac to the next. So a full completion of all 12 astrological houses marks a 25,690 year cycle. So according to my research, every time our solar system enters this photonic band frequency that directly aligns with the central sun of our galaxy, we experience some sort of a quantum leap in evolution, where limited consciousness all of a sudden goes into full consciousness, and people become upgraded genetically, consciously, emotionally, and we become part of a golden society. That's what they call the the heaven on earth, where Christ consciousness reigns for everybody, and everyone is attuned to Christ consciousness. So there is a similarity between the photonic band of energy that comes from the center of our galaxy that allows us to live in that state of heightened consciousness known as cosmic Christ consciousness, where we see everything as one, where we respect every living thing and we see the sacredness in every living thing. So that's a phenomenon that occurs every 26,000 years. Now, there's more on this. The fact that the Earth in our solar system has completed 5,500 revolutions around Alcyon, that means that Alcyon and Sirius B, which is the part of the galaxy arm that we belong to, it has completed a 226 million year revolution around the galactic core. So now we're talking about a greater, ending of a greater cycle. So not only are we ending a 5,000 year world age cycle, right, from one yuga to the next, but we're also ending a 25,000 year cycle, platonic year, and we've already ended 5,500 cycles of that, but we're also ending a 226 million year cycle, which marks the ascension of an entire galaxy. So the ascension of the Earth is actually going to be a trigger to the ascension of the entire galaxy.
Ooh, that's exciting. I love the idea of our entire galaxy ascending, and it makes perfect sense because this is the time that the photon belt is coming in. And I guess it's been prophesied forever that this would be that time, and that's why we're here. But to expand out into it's the whole galaxy that's ascending and that the Earth is triggering that, it kind of makes it feel even more delicious to be here at this time. And I know a lot of people are struggling in these energies, but just to have that perspective that, yeah, this is the time that we have been planning for, and we chose to be here at this time, and it's a gift to be a part of it. That's really exciting.
Absolutely. Many extraterrestrials coveted our how can I say it? They were kind of jealous that we chose to come at this time to this planet, But we're also the best out there in the multiverse. The best, most powerful warriors took the calling, and that's why we're here. The 144,000 and the millions of indigo and starseed children that are all around us already.
Yeah, love it. So I think you just mentioned Sirius B. I know I heard you do talk about Sirius a lot. I'm a starseed. I have a lot of conscious memories from most recently from Sirius B, where I experienced, a water planet, and that the water is more like liquid crystal plasma, the creative energy of everything, of the universe, and that everything is conscious there. And it feels like when you talk about it, we're sort of the Earth is moving into something more like that interconnected experience of life. Can you share more of what you know about Sirius and our connection, and is where we're going kind of similar to where they are there now?
So it sounds like, it appears that our star system is part of a binary star system. So the second sun is Sirius B. So the Earth's star, which is Helios, that's our local star, comes from the family of Sirius. Sirius is what gave birth to Alcyon, and in turn, Alcyon gave birth to us. But technically, Sirius is like the grandfather of all of our star system. And so what's happening now is as the Earth becomes restored, it's almost like the entire solar system is going to be relocated at the center of our galaxy. We are going to be the new hub of our galaxy, our universe, and the multiverse from this galaxy. And so that's the special relationship to Sirius B, is that for millions of years, Sirius B has been acting as the office of the Christ, the High Council, in charge of all the spiritual councils in our galaxy, bringing forth, and anchoring the law of one, unity consciousness. And now our planet is going to be replacing that. As Sirius moves up to the next octave into harmonic universe number 4, our Earth is going to move up into the next octave, which is harmonic universe number 2. Yeah.
Wow. Oh, I love that. I love that. And you just mentioned the law of one. So I want to go there. And that's all about becoming service to other and really understanding that we are all one, as you talked about in the beginning, one organism connected through many different bodies, really. How can a person that's maybe new to the law of one or really interested in diving in, how can a person practice the law of one material and philosophy in their own life?
It's very simple. It's how you conduct yourself on a daily basis when you're interacting with others. You know, if you're a kind person, if you're compassionate, understanding, non-judgment, because all those characteristics are associated with somebody that's embedded in the law of one. See, what distinguishes the benevolent extraterrestrial races from the malevolent ones is that the benevolent ones are known as the children of the one. They honor and they live and they embody it. And so that is a principle that eventually, if we are to become fifth dimensional beings and up, and as we continue our ascension, we have to be fully embedded in that, because that's the only way we are going to eventually reconnect back to Prime Creator Source. It is by adapting and becoming and living the principles of the law of one. So one of the best ways to start doing it is be mindful of your acts, be mindful of your interactions, and most importantly, be mindful of your thoughts and emotions.
Mm-hmm.
You know, make sure that you're always thinking positive, because you're, you know, even if you think negative about somebody, that's you're you know, sidetracking from the law of one. If you want to be fully embedded in those principles, you have to just think positive. And even if the beings from the 13, 14, and 15 levels of reality are creating simulation, yes. And they're doing it so that the larger consciousness system, which is the mind of the all, could further expand. And it's expanding one outer space level at a time in terms of like the omniverse, the mother universe.
Is it possible for us to have conscious interaction with those creator beings?
Absolutely, because we're actually extensions of that. We are those creator beings. At the highest level of reality, we all co-created, you know, everything.
Okay, got it. So when I've heard you say this, and I wanted to ask you, when you can tap into the quantum level and reach higher levels of consciousness, you can alter reality and bend it at your will. That's a quote from you on another interview. So I'd love to hear how, or what are some of the techniques that you would use to bend your reality at will?
Well, first of all, you have to be an ardent meditator. You have to know how to go from the beta wavelength to the alpha and delta, because that's when the magic begins. Once you reach the delta wave level of consciousness, then you're able to tap into the quantum realm. See, everything that we see in our physical reality is being manifested or generated by the quantum field. So the more you're able to tap into these higher levels of consciousness, the more influence you have over reality by you know, controlling the quantum field of reality through your mind. So that's how it works. And it's also about perception. You know, when you're able to rewire your mind and unlearn everything that you've learned and understand that you are one with Creator, then you begin to manipulate things around you know, at hand.
Yeah. Yeah, and also ties back into how the importance of the way that we think, of noticing and monitoring and upgrading the way that we think. And I think this life is the perfect opportunity to constantly upgrade our thoughts, upgrade the way that we interact with the universe, because the way that we perceive the universe is a direct expression of the way that we're thinking and behaving and our emotions and all of that.
Absolutely. Well, perception is key. If you could change your perception of things, you change things.
Yeah.
But again, you know, it's only more effective when you reach those higher levels of consciousness beyond the beta wavelength.
Yeah, absolutely. I know we're running close to the end of our time here. I would love for you to share about your, I know you do classes. Do you want to share about what's coming up? And I've heard you say you have some openings in October. I don't know if you still do. Do you have another class starting after that?
Yes, I do. But I believe I still have a few spots left for the October class. But for those that, excuse me, for those that can't make the October class, they could definitely sign up for the November class. These classes are amazing. Everyone from the month of June to the month of July, I'm just finishing with the July class. Everyone is just, they can't thank me enough. You know, they're telling me that I activated them, that, you know, now they see, you know, reality differently. They're full of gratitude for sharing all this information and for teaching them the techniques, so that they could also, you know, activate and realign with their higher self and become multidimensional. So I still have positions open or room left in the October class.
And is it a month-long class?
It consists of 3 courses, so it's going to be weekly, you know, for 3 weeks straight, and yeah, it's a very powerful activator.
Wonderful. Yeah, I know a lot of people are going to want to jump on that. And also say where they can find you and where they could sign up.
Sure. What I could do is I could give you a link to my class, to my book, and to my Instagram that you could put in the description. If you, you know, that way it's easy for people to access it.
Great. Okay, we'll do that. All right. I would love to just turn it over to you for closing thoughts. What would you like to share with the Alchemy of Ascension audience that I didn't ask you?
Well, you know, try to stay away from any negative programming at this time. The forces of light have secured all the probable timelines in favor of the light. We have nothing to worry about. The entire galactic community is in support of us. Earth is now under the jurisdiction, once again, of the Syrian High Council. And the only thing that we are about to experience is disclosure, first contact, and ascension. And that is my final thoughts, you know.
Oh, I love it. And disclosure, I heard you say once that the star seeds are the disclosure. And I love that. Do you see the disclosure happening in other, like from the government as well? Or is it more like the people?
Both. It's happening both. Yeah, it's coming from different angles. You know, the Y hats and the Earth lines are bringing it forth. The star seeds are bringing out the information. The sleeping super soldiers are regaining their memories. So it's coming from all the angles. It's inevitable. You know, we're not going to be waiting another 50 to 100 years as the powers that were wanted it to be. But, you know, it's actually going to happen within the next few years. Perhaps even at the end of the summer. Who knows?
Yay. Wow. Okay. So it's time to get your affairs in order and be ready, right? But it's all good news. And that's what I love about you and your work, Ismael. It's really bringing forward the good news that these are the times we've been waiting for, that everything is happening as planned, and there's really nothing to fear. It's really just about getting your thoughts and your actions and your behavior in order so that you can be the best version of yourself. So I really appreciate your work. Again, everyone get his book, Our Cosmic Origin. And if you want to join one of Ishmael's classes, I'll have the links available. And I appreciate you. Thank you so much for sharing this time with me today.
I appreciate you as well, my sister. Thank you.
Thank you. To everyone else, thanks for watching. Namaste.